I'm upset. No disrespect, respectfully. But disrespectfully, it's disrespect. Don't be disrespectful. Those vile, disgusting Spartans. Poor little bro, them. And I'm gonna tell him where I'm at. That vile, disgusting cesspool in Columbus. The other state. And of course, as always, I'm upset.
Maize and Blue Nation, it's Tom Brady. I co-founded Autograph with one mission in mind: change the fan experience for the better. That's why I'm excited to announce the release of a new app that recognizes the biggest Michigan fans. The Autograph Fandom app gives you access to the best Michigan content, fan challenges, and exclusive rewards for diehard Wolverines, all for doing the things you already do, like listening to this podcast. Head over to the Apple App Store and search for Autograph Rewarding Fans and download today.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, first and foremost, hit the like button. Drop your comments. This is going to be an excellent show. I brought my guys from the Week Zero podcast over here and down here. Josh, what's going on, sir?
Oh, not much, man. I think somebody retired today.
Think somebody retired?
Yeah.
Smells like retirement. Ryan, what's going on?
Doing good, man. I think we're sending a certain team that a certain man by the name of Old Saint Nick, brought from the gutters, and I think we're going to see them return to from whence they came.
Absolutely. The doldrums of college football from which they came before Nick arrived in Tuscaloosa. By the way, it's Tuscaloosa, Alabama.
Yeah.
Who wants to be there? No disrespect to the South. This is a shot at the South. This is a shot at Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Nobody wants to go there. If you're a recruit, you don't want to go to. Nobody woke up in the morning and said, I want to go to Tuscaloosa. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Absolutely. But you know what they do say? They wake up in the morning, they say, I want to go to where the national champs play. And you know where that is? Ann Arbor, Michigan, people. Ann Arbor, Michigan is where national champions go. And if you stay, you will be a champion, in the immortal words of Bo Schembechler. But let's get to the reasons for Nick's retirement. Ryan, let's start with you, sir. Why is Nick hanging him up?
He's old. He just watched Jalen Milroe play football for an entire season.
Okay.
So he's like, yeah, it's kind of like famous last words of Michael Jordan. I'm going to leave while I'm on top. So, you know what? That's what Nick Saban did. He's not on top. He fell a little short of that. But I think Bama fans forget, before they were losing to Michigan for the national title, they were losing to Louisiana Monroe in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. So, reality check.
Pete Carroll to Alabama. I don't see that. Pete Carroll is like
retiring.
The same age as Nick, right? Who are we gonna get rid of an old person to hire an older person?
Plus, I'm sure Pete Carroll would get paid more. Pete Carroll would get paid more to be it, because I think the thing is he's supposed to be an exec now for the Seahawks. He'd get paid more as an executive than he would at Bama.
Maybe. I don't know. Like, by the way, like, the thing about like being the coach in a place like Alabama in Tuscaloosa, Nick wasn't paying for anything. Like, his salary is still his salary. He's probably got all that money because he ain't had to buy a thing in that town. Not even his house. The boosters bought his house. So Nick Saban is living the life. Trust me. Lane Kiffin to Bama. This is a good one. What do you guys think about this one?
I think I could see that, but I don't think. I mean, Lane maybe gets you 10-2,
10-2,
maybe 9-3. Like,
I mean, look, the cupboards. He would be taking over at third base.
But if those guys don't leave,
right? No, that's fair.
Like, I think if Bama wants to keep the talent they have right now on the roster, I think they kind of have to do kind of like what Ohio State did, where they upgraded Ryan Day in-house, or like Notre Dame did to save their recruiting class. They got Freeman in-house. If they want to save the guys that are on the team, the only move is Tommy Rees. Like that's the only.
Alabama's not gonna.
But
Yeah.
no, I know that. But I'm saying if that's what your priority is, you make an inside hire. They're not going to do that because they think that they can get the best coach in the country at Alabama.
Absolutely. Before we get on, Texas Runner has the most relevant comment of all time here. This is the second time Michigan chased away Nick Saban. The first time was from MSU. Poor little bro Nim. And Nick Saban did a decent job while he was at MSU. Got to give him some credit.
You guys got a winning record against Nick Saban, don't you?
Well, we have a winning record against everybody, almost, Ryan. So, forgive me if I lost Nick Saban in the muck. That is the body strewn behind Michigan football. So I'm sure it's not a lot of people we don't have winning records. Urban Meyer has a winning record against Michigan. That's somebody off my head, I know for sure. So I can say that. But Josh, being a Kentucky fan, being an SEC guy, what does this mean for the SEC? Has this opened things up? Do you think it's anybody's league to take control of now?
Well, I think the number one benefactor of Nick Saban retiring has to be the Georgia Bulldogs. Now they are the team to beat. Just Kirby Smart being there, and that's someone else that they thought that might end up back in Tuscaloosa. But
Kirby Smart,
Kirby Smart, maybe.
Kirby's got a good thing going in Georgia. I've also heard rumors of Kirby to the Atlanta Falcons.
Oh, so wait, would that be a lateral move though? If I'm Kirby Smart,
it's the NFL, right? Like,
no, I'm talking about if I stay in college. From Georgia to Bama. If anything, because me and
at
Lucas
this point it feels kind of lateral. Maybe even a step back in terms of the roster and the location. I mean, it's Tuscaloosa, Alabama, and you're not that far from Atlanta where he is. So I mean, Georgia right now is in a better place. Athens over Tuscaloosa. Give me Athens every time.
I mean, me and Lucas were sitting here talking in the group chat. We're like, what's the best jobs in college football? Me and Lucas agree. We don't think Bama is even a top 5 job in college football. Nick Saban made Bama's brand what it was. I think. Yeah. They had Bear Bryant. They had Bear Bryant for a long time, and then they had Nick Saban. Can you name one Alabama head coach besides those two guys? Josh probably can because he's an SEC fan, but I can't.
I don't know them.
There's a reason why.
They are not relevant. But I mean, look, I got to put some respect on Nick Saban's name. He's the GOAT, right? Yeah, everybody agrees with that in college football. He won brought 6 national championships to Alabama. 7 national championships to Alabama. He got another in LSU.
Or actually, 6 at Alabama, 1 at LSU.
Right. Yeah, that's what I thought. Right.
And they only missed the playoff one time.
Only missed the CFP one time. Speaking of missing the CFP one time, I do have to hit you guys with some fun facts. It's time for fun facts. I need a little jingle right here. All right. Anyway, fun fact. The first 4-team college football playoff. Shout out to my guy Dom, who's in the house. What's going on, Dom?
How you doing, gentlemen?
We are doing great. We are celebrating the fact that Jim Harbaugh has retired Nick Saban, and the Wolverines are on top. Dom was the winner of my giveaway. Actually, he chose the closest score to the outcome, and he will be receiving, if I can find mine, his very own commemorative coin there, Michigan. This is the Rose Bowl coin here, but I will be sending one to Dom. But as I was saying, fun facts. Dom, you joined in right during the fun fact portion. Fun fact: during the first college football playoff, a Big Ten team won it. Ohio State, the other state, won that one. They beat Alabama in the semifinals, right? So did Michigan. They beat a Pac-12 team in the championship. So did Michigan. They had a running back who finished top 10 in Heisman voting. So did Michigan. So on and so on. You see the parallels here in the very last college football playoff, 14 college football playoff. A Big Ten team won, beat a Pac-12 team in the championship. All of that. By the way, I don't know if you guys knew this either. The 3 most watched college football games this season all involved the Michigan Wolverines. Go Blue. Not sure if you guys knew that. By the way, Notre Dame was on there one time on a top 15 list. That also included a Big Ten team because the other state carried you guys.
Hey, no. Don't do that.
One of those teams.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
The other state is on there 3 times without you. So
hey, if USC would be irrelevant for once,
not our fault.
That would that I'm not saying it's your fault, but it's not our fault that our rivals suck.
You can join the Big Ten and take these L's too, but you guys are afraid of that. Dom, what you got on Nick Saban? What's going on with you, sir? How you feeling?
I feel great. I had no idea about Nick Saban retiring. I've been, doing work all day, and I just stepped out to go to the grocery store. I'm like, I didn't get notification that you were going live.
What?
Yeah, that's what I said. And then I was like, well, he's got it in there, so I will join if they allow me. And thank you, gentlemen. Nick Saban, that's kind of odd. I wonder if there's health issues that we don't know about.
Right.
As Ryan was saying, and you were saying, he doesn't pay for anything. He's got the machine built, and he does whatever he wants. Why would he leave him? So I'm wondering if it's health issues. And then, Ryan mentioned, well, who was before Nick? You're forgetting Gene Stallings, who beat the Miami Hurricanes 35-0. Was it 93 Sugar Bowl? I think it was a 93 Sugar Bowl. So, yeah, I don't know. I got to say health issues. I don't see him going to the NFL. He certainly doesn't need the money.
Bill Belichick to Bama.
Yeah. No, I agree. He definitely doesn't need the money. It's not like he spends his own. He has tons of car dealerships in the area. He's gonna be fine. And it may be, like you said, health issues. That seems to be
hold on.
Something that it could be. Yeah.
Jimbo Fisher to Bama. That would be absolutely hilarious. It probably will never happen.
Nah, Jimbo.
They could get him for cheap because he's already sitting on $77 million.
Yeah.
No, Jimbo's got the best job in the world right now.
Yeah, you got.
What about Vrabel?
Mike Vrabel?
Yeah, what about him? Everybody's thinking he's going to Ohio State, but they're in a bit of a NCAA bugaboo as well for, allegedly.
I know all these
allegedly heisting some catapult practice footage and then pawning it off to another team. So,
right.
What is the
Big
Ten slogan like for their conference?
Do they have a slogan?
Do you guys
know
how
to go there, guys?
We're better than you.
No, because like the Pac-12 has the Pac-12, the Conference of Champions, SEC. I can't remember what it's.
It just means more.
It just means more.
In the big senses, we're better than you.
I was gonna say the Conference of Cheaters, but
you know what? Quick way to get your mic muted is be Ryan. Anyway, Dom. By the way, you are the winner. Pointed that out already. We will be sending that out tomorrow or Friday. Tomorrow, we're gonna send it out tomorrow. I really appreciate your patronage. I'm gonna drop you down right now. If anybody else wants to come up, the link is in the comment section. Dom, if you got anything else you want to share, feel free.
So one other thing, M3, did you let the other guys know here that effective next year, before the season, they're going to need to up your NIL money, or you might enter the transfer portal. Your views are going to drop big time.
Facts, right? I at least
guys.
need some signage. Absolutely, Dom. Appreciate it, man.
Yeah.
Bye.
Yeah,
my guy, Dom.
Phil can transfer to be a Notre Dame fan.
No, that's not going to happen.
No.
Why would I do that? We're winning chips over here.
No. Michigan recruited Phil, so it would only be right for Kentucky to steal him away.
Absolutely. If I'm going anywhere, it's clearly Kentucky, right? Absolutely. But yeah, anybody I'm seeing a lot of names in the transfer or names that could possibly replace Nick Saban in the comment section. Keep them coming. I think the best name, obviously, Dabo is going to be linked to this. He's a former Crimson Tide.
Mm-hmm.
He's got some things going on with Clemson right now. The fan base hates him or
Oh,
loves him.
you don't
Whatever.
think the fan base will hate him at Bama because Bama is big in the transfer portal, big in NIL, and that's two things that Dabo just doesn't believe in.
Nope, because Bama has one thing that Clemson doesn't.
What?
People want to play at Bama.
And they're not afraid to spend, they're not afraid to spend money to.
But the thing is, Dabo doesn't agree with that.
That's fair.
Dabo is very anti-NIL, NIL.
I think his colors will change.
This is a great point here. The transfer portal is going to be crazy. 30 days those Alabama players have. Absolutely.
Well, you know what? I was wondering.
Say something about Damani Jackson because he chose Bama. Obviously, I'm sure he did that thinking that Nick Saban would be there. He obviously is not. I'm sure he's going to be back in that portal.
Well, you don't think Nick Saban sat here, especially because EK didn't do this, and a lot of his kids that came into Notre Dame while he was there lost a lot of respect for him. But if I'm Nick Saban, because he seems like a genuine guy, do you tell these kids, hey, if you commit here, I'm not going to be here? Do you? Because he's obviously had this decision in mind for quite some time. So
yeah, but you don't you don't do that to recruits. You do that to your team. You tell your team before anybody else. You don't tell. That just hurts the university.
So I am sticking with my narrative that Jim Harbaugh retired Nick Saban. This was a spurious decision because he went into that game thinking he would advance. Of course, he would win another national championship, but Jim Harbaugh had other plans. Michigan sends him into early retirement. That's clearly what happened.
Clearly.
Dude, I'm excited. I'm excited to see that The Last Dance Part 2, Nick Saban, Alabama. But I know Phil's going to watch that on Netflix. He's going to binge watch it because he wants to get to the end where Michigan beats him. And he's like, all right, guys, been a long ride, but I'm out.
Oh, man. Dom says, thank you all for the laughs and arguments this year. Lastly, Harbaugh stays. I live in Cali. He ain't putting his kids through school out here. That's a good point. And obviously they have private schools. I'm sure he wouldn't be going. His kids ain't going to public school. Let me tell you that.
Especially if he goes to the Los Angeles Largers that we call them here in Denver.
Right.
Oh man, I would love to that would be so sweet to beat up on Harbaugh when he's the head coach of the Chargers. That'd be so great.
I hear that.
As a Raider fan, I don't want him to go to the Chargers.
How would that be for you if he went to the Chargers and you had to play your coach?
Well, I mean, immediately he's the enemy. I'm sorry. Yeah, I would much rather he go to the Raiders. But I like what Antonio Pierce has done too. So it's kind of weird for me because I don't want. I think Antonio Pierce deserves the job. But
you know how crazy that head coaching in the AFC West would be with Andy Reid, Sean Payton, Jim Harbaugh, depending on who the Raiders get, whether that's Antonio Pierce or you guys go out and get somebody. That coaching in that division is going to be insane.
Yeah. First thing I said was we retired Nick because it's a fact. We definitely retired Nick. By the way, you like my new show name, BlueTube.
I like it.
BlueTube Live. I think it's
very
amazing.
Nice.
I kind of stole it from Uncle Lou a little bit. He's got LuTube. I've got BlueTube. But don't tell him that.
I mean, so
that might be the move.
So do we think? I mean, the news is Saban's retiring.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because he's old. Because Michigan put him out to retirement. Who knows?
Right. Yeah, we definitely
did. Yeah, definitely.
Old Yeller all over again.
But I mean, here we are at the end of another college football season, and we're talking about Harbaugh leaving.
Yep.
Now, I mean, Harbaugh's on top.
It's just an annual thing. It's like par for the course. being a Michigan fan, expect around this time to hear Jim Harbaugh is leaving. I do think now this year, I will say this year more than any other year, I feel like there's some legs to it. He took some steps that were different than in past years, right? He hired an agent that has ties to the NFL. He won the national championship, which is the penultimate of the sport, right? So he doesn't have anything else to prove. He's owned the other state the last 3 years.
Mhm.
He's won the Big Ten championship the last 3 years. By the way, nobody's done that since the Big Ten championship game has become a thing.
And
No
also,
Big
I
Ten team
mean,
has done
you
that.
guys, he's done his time. How long has he been the coach at Michigan?
10 years, right?
Yeah, so he's done his time in
Yeah,
college.
10 years. And there's nothing more to accomplish other than more championships, right? And this isn't Alabama, right? It's not where, you just go and I just want to coach college football for the rest of my life. And I'm not saying that can't be the case, because he very well could feel that way and stay. But I also think he wants to 9 years. I'm sorry, account 22 corrected me, 9 years. So, we'll see what happens, but I think it does have some legs to it this year.
Aren't talking about, and speaking of that, by the way, there were reports that came out before the national championship game was played that there's already a deal in place between Harbaugh and the Chargers, that he was waiting to announce it after the championship game.
I don't believe that.
So that's what it was from ML Football. So they've got stuff right,
Yeah.
they've got stuff wrong. So that's take it
Yeah.
for what it's worth. But that's what was being reported. My thing is this could get crazy fast. Like Pete Thamel put in the tweet that the college football world is going to be shaken to its core with Nick Saban's retirement. That we're going to see a ton of head coaching moves outside of just Bama.
Because
You're
I
going to
believe
think
that.
Michigan, if Harbaugh leaves, Michigan's going to have a vacancy. I know you guys want Sharon Moore. What does that look like? Kirby Smart, what if he jumps to the NFL? That could be a thing. Then you have a vacancy at Georgia. Lincoln Riley, there's been rumors of him going to the NFL and following Caleb Williams wherever he goes. I mean, you're talking about
which sounds like insanity.
Like, you could flip college football completely on its head, and this could be the time where we see guys like, DeBoer, Freeman, Lanning, other young coaches kind of be that new regime. You know what I mean? Like, kind of that new where teams start getting younger coach. Sharon Moore could be included in that as well, where instead of getting these guys that are older, we might just see this might be the changing of the guard in college football in terms of who the top head coaches are.
Absolutely.
That's what I was thinking as well. People have said it already, but I was thinking more of Lanning to Alabama.
I think that would be.
I think that makes sense, right? He's a coach, an assistant in the SEC already. He's got the temperament for
he's
it.
already under the Saban tree, basically. It's
right.
Saban, Kirby, and then Lanning.
Kirby, right. I think that makes a lot of sense. He's younger. You're getting that youthful energy in there. He's proven he can recruit with the best of them, right? He's been successful. He hasn't won the league, but he's been right there. He played in the championship game 2 years, right? Or no, that was Cristobal before that.
Yeah.
That lost to Utah twice. But yeah, so I think he is a prime candidate for the job. If it comes down to Dan Lanning, let's say you're Alabama, it comes down to Dan Lanning or Kirby Smart for you. Who you going with?
Kirby Smart.
He's already won the championships. He can do it. He can field a good team.
I get. Okay, I kind of want to go through these coaching candidates for Bama here. Some of them make sense. Some of them don't make sense. You got James Franklin. Michigan fans know him best as the guy that never gets over the hump, but goes 10-2 every year.
And he's also the guy that took Vanderbilt to 9-3, 10-2.
Yeah, that's true. But I mean,
he coached.
There you go. But that I guess kind of makes sense. But I don't think that's a guy that Bama fans want. You got Dan Lanning. I think that makes sense. I still think that he's still kind of young. I think that they would want to see him do something more before he takes that next step.
Mhm.
Freeman, don't get it all. Don't get it all. He's a young
I don't-
coach.
I
I don't
really
get that
understand
move at
Freeman
all.
either.
If you want him for the recruiting, fine. But why would you want him as your head coach at Alabama right now?
I mean,
Yeah, I don't think that's a fit. I don't think
it isn't. It isn't. And another thing, Freeman hasn't really proven that he's a good coach yet.
Right. I think to be the coach at Alabama,
You
the
have to be
first thing you got to
proven.
do is be able to count to 11. And
Oh
Freeman
no! Hey,
hasn't proven he
Alabama
can
has
do that.
a higher acceptance rate than the University of Ohio State. So
Do they?
yeah, you
That's
could have
shocking.
yeah. You have a C- grade, you can get an Ohio State. You get a D, you can get an Alabama.
Disrespect.
Like,
That's not gonna happen.
Oh, I thought about that too. That'd be hilarious.
That would never go down.
Oh, how the turntables.
tables have turned. But no, I mean, and that's also part of me is like, as a Notre Dame fan, I'm like, if Marcus Freeman leaves Notre Dame, we're
Utah's
screwed.
coach? I do not.
Oh, why can't I think of his name? He's not leaving Utah. He's been there
He's
for like
been there
20 years.
forever.
Right.
He's been
By
there
the
for
way,
like 20 years.
I saw Antoine say that he want Kirk Campbell to be the OC, which I'm not against. I do think though that it's like a succession plan for like Sharon Moore to be head coach and then Newsome to take over the OC job or at least the offensive line.
You don't
but
think
I could be
Moore
wrong
would want
about
to hire his own guys?
that. I would. However, if you want to keep the kind of continuity going, then I think it makes sense for like succession. And by the way, I mean, it's won us a national championship now. So if going away from the formula doesn't make a lot of sense right now, but I understand what you're saying too.
But yeah, I think Lanning, and that's sad because
I think this is gonna happen now.
I feel bad for Lucas because if Lanning goes to Alabama,
yeah. If Lanning goes to Alabama, Oregon is just going to become
a stepping stone
rib
job.
cage for Michigan, Ohio State to feast on, and they don't need that.
But that's the thing is like, if Lanning leaves, because he's got a good thing going on in Oregon, right?
Right.
Does that just immediately demote Oregon as a stepping stone job in college football?
No. I don't think the job is that. Well, the job could never be stepping stone. They still got Phil Spencer bankrolling the thing. So,
but why can't they keep their coaches like that? That's what I like.
It's the prestige that these other jobs have. Like as much as Oregon is a great job, right? They got the facilities, they got the money, they can recruit, obviously, but they still haven't won anything, right? They've
Zero
not
national
won a
titles.
thing. Yeah. So that's the problem. Until you can bank some of those championships, right? It's still just a job with some good perks.
But yeah, what to finish off on Freeman, I think the only way he leaves Notre Dame is if Ryan Day gets fired. And I think Freeman would be the first guy to take that job because he's an Ohio State alum. But that's the only way I think he leaves Notre Dame. But yeah, I think if I was Alabama, I would want Lanning, or if I get Smart, but I don't think that's in the cards. If it's not Lanning, I think DeBoer. DeBoer makes too much sense because DeBoer was at a place in Washington where they just went to the national title, but they've got the 96th recruiting class in the country.
Right.
Like there are limitations at Washington that you won't have in the SEC.
Yeah, I think Washington's got they're gonna listen. Michigan's gonna be vastly different next year. Washington's gonna be vastly different. Alabama, I believe, is now going to be vastly different. So it's going to be a lot of interesting. Next year, college football is going to be very interesting. I've seen some way too early top 25s already. Are you guys going to do one of those, by the way?
Yeah, we're going to do way too early top 25, and we're going to do a way too early top 12.
Yeah, so definitely.
Retirement affect our way too early top 25?
Yes,
it has to, right? I think it has to affect anybody's. Like, this is a vacuum kind of like move, right? This is going to affect so many things because whoever replaces Nick Saban, I'm going to assume it's going to be another head coach from college football, right?
Mm-hmm.
One of these top guys. Then they need to be replaced. And then wherever they came from, they need to be replaced. You know what I mean? So this is going to definitely cause some moves.
Where does this delusion from Bama fans now? Because, like, when I first saw this on my phone, I'm like, oh, great. I got to see Bama Twitter, right? These guys are probably going to be, like, crying, remorseful, like they just lost a loved one. They're confident as ever, right? They are.
Good catch. I did say Phil Spencer.
They are, but Phil, they are so confident
Phil
that
Knight,
they think everyone's going to stay. They think they're going to get the best coach available, which may happen.
Right.
And they think that they're still going to compete for national titles every year. Like with this. And I said, that's too big of a loss.
Well,
also, Jalen Milroe, right? Alabama fans crapped on Milroe that entire national championship game. He deserved criticism. But Bama fans forget, what does that Bama team look like without Milroe at quarterback? We've already seen them play USF without Milroe at quarterback, and it was terrible.
It was pretty bad.
Think about if Milroe could transfer out, and you're stuck with that guy that started for you against USF.
Well, they do have who's the 5-star they got coming
Julian
in?
Sayin.
Julian Sayin, who could transfer to because so let me know how this works for players who just signed their.
They can get out. They can ask for a
right.
Remember, Brandon Hillman did that at Notre Dame to go to Michigan.
Exactly. Yeah. Now that wasn't because of a coaching change though.
No, but I think you can send out a waiver to the school.
Yeah.
And it's up to the school of whether or not they want to let you out of that letter of intent.
But with a coaching change, I feel like it should be different, right? That should be like they should get the same 30 days as the rostered players.
Yeah. But I mean,
I don't know. If anybody knows the answer to that, please leave it in the comment section. Really quickly, I want to address what Antoine's saying here. Michigan is going to be vastly different, not from like necessarily a coaching perspective, but the roster is going to be different. We're losing Blake Corum. He's gone. We're losing Roman Wilson. We're losing Cornelius Johnson. A lot of seniors. Keegan, Mentor, all those guys are gone. Donovan Edwards hasn't declared, and I don't expect that he will. He should come back. He needs to come back. But a lot of those guys are leaving. Sam still is gone. JJ can leave, right? Sam still's gone. A lot of those offensive linemen I already pointed out are gone. So we're gonna look different. It's gonna be different. I mean, it could be better, but who knows, right? It's gonna be different.
And I think for Michigan fans to expect this Michigan roster next year, depending on who like all those guys leaving, to expect them to repeat the same thing they just did in a Big Ten that's got a lot of moving parts. That's almost like you're asking a lot, for especially guys that haven't played much. You know, maybe Donovan Edwards different, but like, are you ready for Alex Orji to be your starting quarterback?
Why not?
I mean, here's the thing. It's just going to be different. It doesn't mean it's going to be worse.
We haven't
I don't think it's going to be worse, but I think
pass in a game really.
I think to expect them to go 15-0 again is like very, very unrealistic expectation.
No, but they should. I mean, the expectation at Michigan hasn't immediately risen because they got a national championship. I think it should still be.
I think people
win your conference.
People just want to hear glowing things, bro, like flowers and fucking butterflies all the time. Yo, bro, I am not saying that Michigan is going to be a bad football team. I'm pointing out the facts. They are going to be different. We do have replacements at all of these positions. I agree. And some of them may be even upgrades. A lot of them may be upgrades. But if you replace me with somebody else, this is a different show, right? Yeah. I am the Maze Madman, right? Somebody else can come in and be somebody else, right? It could still be a great show for a lot of people who watch it. It could still be a great channel for a lot of people who enjoy it, but it will be different. Nobody's coming up with the poor little bro nim or whatever it is. It's just going to be different.
I mean,
we've seen worse. It doesn't have to be worse. It doesn't have to. I'm not saying it's going to be worse. I don't believe it's going to be worse. It's going to be different.
We've seen it with Georgia. We've seen it with Ohio State. In past years, we've seen it with Bama. Look, Georgia just went back-to-back national champs, right? They
I think we'll
lost.
be okay.
They lost
almost their entire.
They lost their entire defense 1 year, right? Went to the national championship again. This year, after that year, they lost basically everybody again. They didn't make the playoff this year. Like, it can go either way. But, like, this is going to be a different Michigan team than what was this year.
Yeah, I mean, and it's got nothing to do with like the X's and O's, because I believe the X's and O's will be pretty much the same, right? Like,
but Alex Orji playing quarterback is different than JJ McCarthy playing quarterback. Like,
sure.
That's different.
But anyway, let's get off of that, because I don't want to upset a bunch of Michigan people, because I'm just gonna be.
We got the whole off to talk about.
By the way, Phil,
great.
how you feel about
for everybody who thinks we're gonna be the same? We're gonna be the same. My bad. We'll just put a different name on Blake's jersey, give it to someone else. Fine.
Phil, how do you feel, by the way, about JJ being mocked to the Broncos? Because I got a certain way I feel.
That's hilarious, and I hope it happens.
No,
I hope it happens.
Because you were talking so much smack about.
I said
JJ is an excellent quarterback.
I said in the group chat,
and
if JJ McCarthy
saved him.
If JJ McCarthy is a Bronco, as a Denver Bronco, by the end of the first round,
you're missing a point. You're missing a point, Antoine. The point isn't we don't have replacements. I pointed that out. I just said that we got replacements.
If JJ McCarthy is a Denver Bronco at the 12th overall pick, not watching the Broncos the entire season.
You're wild.
Not doing it.
JJ McCarthy. Let me run down some JJ McCarthy. Let me run down some JJ McCarthy stats. JJ McCarthy is 27-1 as a starter, which is the second best win percentage of all time. Only some guy who went to Toledo and won every game at Toledo is better. And it's Toledo, so who cares? Then JJ McCarthy won the Big Ten championship 3 times, right? He's a 3-time winner of the Big Ten championship.
But the stats have to matter.
Like, and by the way, he's like one of the most accurate quarterbacks in all of college football. He's like top 3 in accuracy in all of college football.
I mean, Ian Book was a top 5 accurate passer.
Don't talk to me about.
I'm not saying. I'm saying accuracy is
Ian
a very.
Book is not a champion of any sort.
Completion percentage is a very stat, because you can throw dunk passes and get in a great.
Ian Book was not the athlete that JJ McCarthy is. Ian Book did not have the arm talent.
Didn't JJ have like a 3-game stretch where he didn't even throw for over like 100-something yards?
That's not JJ's fault. That's the way the offense was called.
But Sean Payton is going to want him to pass, and when we've seen JJ pass,
and he's capable. He's a more than capable passer.
He'll be fine.
Can he hit quick slants?
What do you mean?
Absolutely. Can he?
They'll get there in record time. By the way, that ball is going to be right there.
I don't know, man. I'd rather have Bo Nix or Michael Penix as my quarterback.
That's fine. That's your prerogative.
Vital
or Caleb Williams. How about that?
No, we're not getting. Oh, dude, no, that would be worse. I would rather have JJ McCarthy as my quarterback.
You're about to say some crazy stuff, bro.
No, dude, no USC quarterback ever.
27-1. Excellent stat. It's the most important
what
stat.
Was Cade McNamara's stat? What was his career stat of his winning rate?
I don't know.
Because he did the same thing.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't 27-1.
He lost one game.
Cade McNamara didn't have that. No, he lost more than one game. Because he was there when we went 2-4, by the way. I think he lost like 2 or 3 games. Maybe 4 games.
Well, that was kind of COVID. That was just a weird year for me.
He lost to Porlo Bronim. That was Cade McNamara started that game. Now, granted, an argument can be made that JJ lost that game, but I digress.
He
Cade
did.
McNamara was the starting quarterback, and that.
Well, I'm not going to blame. I'm not blaming Cade or JJ for that game. I blame Harbaugh for that game because he had
actually Kenneth Walker deserves all the credit. He destroyed us.
Well, if JJ doesn't you don't let them back in the game.
What happened?
If JJ doesn't have those 2 fumbles, Michigan State doesn't have the chance to get the ball back.
No, that's fair. I agree with that. Just didn't call him, as a matter of fact. Didn't hit Loveland on the biggest crossing route. Yeah. So, okay, and Michigan fans chime in on this one because I do have a JJ gripe.
Yeah.
My problem my biggest issue with JJ, let me say that JJ, even on some passes that he completes, the bigger pass is open and JJ seems to never hit that person. We can go back to, and I got some heat for this. The game against Ohio State in Columbus. He's on his back foot. He throws a dart to Cornelius, who turns it into a touchdown. But on that exact same play, immediately off the line, Roman Wilson is wide open up the seam. He could have thrown that ball to Roman Wilson. It could have been a less contested touchdown throw. You know what I mean? That's that's my only problem with JJ. Is sometimes the bigger pass is there and he takes the other one. And
my issue with JJ as a prospect is because I think JJ is a serviceable
I
prospect.
get that he was under pressure, but again, immediately off the line, because they went 0, right? There was nobody over top of Roman Wilson. He's got to make that pre-snap. Pre-snap, he needs to see that. That's the point, right? He needs to see there's nobody on Roman Wilson. They're going 0. They don't have enough people to cover, and he's going to be wide open. And Roman was in the slot that time. Nobody was there. Touchdown either way. But I digress. We got the touchdown. Yeah. A lot of the times, even when he misses these plays that I'm talking about, we end up scoring, so it doesn't matter. But the big one.
My only gripe with JJ, and when I've watched him play, is that when he's been forced to throw, there have been times where it looks like he throws absolute ducks, or it's not there, and he forces it.
Ryan, we're about
to me, no, that's my, like, he did it like last year against Purdue. There were a lot of plays where he threw it down and it either was almost intercepted or was intercepted. And that's the thing, is like, we saw that with Russell Wilson, especially the first year. I don't want a guy that when the play breaks down.
First of all, you guys have disrespected a future Hall of Famer in Russell Wilson.
He's not as good as he used to be. Like, he's not.
That may be true. That may be true.
And that's the thing is, Sean doesn't want a guy. Sean wants a guy that'll listen.
He's been completely disrespected
and can read a deal. Like, that's the thing is, Sean has been looking for a guy like Drew Brees for a long time that can read pre-snap, make the right decisions, not force it into double coverage, and just run the offense.
Anyway, this isn't an NFL show, and I'm not going to sit here and argue about Broncos football because I hope they lose every game.
So hey, you guys beat us last game of the year.
Well, we beat you both games the last couple of years, but that's
we got a better draft pick, so it's a win-win.
Sure. You got to take your victories how you can get them.
I hope you guys get JJ at 14th pick.
I hope we do too. Sam Hartman to the Saints.
That'd be funny. Sam Hartman to the Saints.
Right. Anyway, Michigan won the national championship, guys. Josh, where were you? Can you remember where you were when Michigan won the national championship?
I was sitting in this chair.
Right.
Eating chili.
Listening to me gripe and complain the entire time.
Yes. Oh my God.
Yeah, we don't. Ryan, by the way, people who don't know, Ryan has been complaining about Michigan's championship since that clock struck 0. For those of you who are on Twitter, you know, last night Ryan caught a Twitter beatdown in that space.
Not a beatdown.
You lost pretty badly in that space.
I didn't lose.
I almost felt sorry for you. I almost had to jump in there and be like, wait a minute. Wait,
hold on, Phil. It's not. How is it a fair fight when there's 20 Michigan fans and I'm the only Notre Dame fan in there?
It's never going to be a fair fight, Ryan. The point is, who the day after the national championship is out here like that team doesn't deserve the national championship?
I never said they didn't deserve it.
Well, you. I
said it was the easiest.
Josh, are you in the same? Are you in the same chat that I'm in?
I'm in the same chat.
All right. So Ryan, you have said that
because of the cheating stuff.
Well, we didn't cheat. You heard Jim. We're innocent.
Yeah.
And I believe Jim Harbaugh. Jim Harbaugh.
Still 2 years down the line when the NCAA throws the hammer.
Harbaugh is a stand-up guy. He was suspended for 6 games this season. It's ludicrous. By the way, Michigan fans, let's talk about this. Jim Harbaugh. There's a 12-game regular season. He missed half of those games, and the foundation that he laid for the Wolverines was so solid that they still won each and every one of those games. Now, granted, I'm not gonna stress too much the first 3 games because Josh, you could have coached Michigan and they would have won those first 3 games.
Absolutely. You run that ball up the middle. They can't stop you.
Absolutely. We played like East Carolina. Now let me say something. UNLV was an elite football team.
Oh,
and Bowling Green. Bowling Green. First of all, don't disrespect Bowling Green either. They beat Georgia Tech, who I believe went to a bowl game, right?
My issue is
maybe they just missed it. They just missed
it. So my issue is, and the thing is, I'm not the only person that has this opinion, because Josh Pate said if it comes out in 2 years that Michigan did in fact cheat and they were allowed to play for this national title, whether it's strict or not, it will be tainted because of that. So
why?
I'm not the only one that
you
said
read
that.
This right here? You read this right here? Why would it be tainted?
Huh?
Read this.
That has nothing. It's they broke the rules. That's my thing. That's cheating. My issue is this, okay? And this is where it comes from with the cheating stuff, right? Notre Dame in 2012 and 2013, we had to vacate all the wins from those 2 seasons, right? And if we would have beat Bama, we would have to vacate our national championship, right? We did way less than what Michigan did. All we did was Everett Golson, unbeknownst to the coaching staff, had a grad assistant on the staff do his homework for him. So he was academically ineligible for both seasons.
Thanks for the super chat. You ain't even leave a comment. I appreciate that. Thanks for
why were they so in a rush to get to slam the hammer on us for way less? But with with Michigan, it's like, hey, let's let it play out.
You got to cope, bro. I believe I'm with BK here, who's probably this is probably a Brian Kelly burner.
Seems that way.
Oh yeah. Cope, man.
Can you answer that for me, Phil? Though,
like why we got so here's the thing. I can't answer it, but here's what I can say: that we should all have been outraged. We are outraged that Notre Dame had to vacate those wins. Right? It's not fair.
But our fans didn't complain about it at the time. We just
fans didn't.
Yeah, we took the punishment.
I can't, and that's another thing. I can't relate to that fan base.
Yeah.
Right. We win things over here.
Oh
we are conference bound.
Right.
It matters.
But the NCAA is not fair how they judge stuff. Like they'll throw the book at Tennessee quicker than they'll throw the book at Michigan.
That's because Tennessee's been cheating for.
Well, it hasn't helped them, has it? Like.
Bro, they are sick of Ryan crying. Ryan. We're about to give you crying, Ryan.
What will Michigan fans say in 2 years if it's you guys are forced to vacate that national championship?
They won't.
Well, what you mean? What we gonna say?
What will you guys say? Like, will you guys admit
we are the 2023 national champions?
I understand that, but will you guys admit that you cheated?
What do you mean?
Like, if it comes out and they gave you guys the evidence.
Researching signs is
I'm saying, like, will you sit here and be like, hey, we're 2023 national champs. You can't take it away from us. But we did cheat.
Hey, bro, first of all, I don't know how long, for like weeks now, I've been like, yo, we are accepting the villain role. We are the villain. Right?
Oh, Harbaugh said y'all were America's team. And I'm like, what?
Harbaugh.
Have you seen America Around the World? The views of America Around the World? We're the
villain. They don't like Michigan.
They don't like Michigan. America's the villain and Michigan's the villain. So it's okay. All right? Beat us though. Fight us. All right? You think you don't like it? Do something about it. That's the stance of America. That's the stance of Michigan. And we are a Michigan.
Well, the thing is, if it is vacated, the only people that will recognize that national championship are Michigan fans.
And that's fine with
Michigan's the new you.
That's fine with us. By the way, the X app, formerly known as Twitter, I'm not sure if you've seen my tweet about that. That is now known as the Michigan app. So be sure to download the Michigan app. Follow me, the Maze Madman there, at Maze Madman. Follow Week Zero podcast is what they are on Twitter. Fravel_Ryan on Twitter. Michael Jordan is his like Twitter name. Josh, I don't know.
Boy, no, I got it.
Joe, we want
Michael
all the
Magic
smoke,
Bryant. I don't know what his Twitter name is.
Joe Torres.
I need
We
to
want all
change
the
it.
smoke. We
I
want to play
need to
Michigan
change
so
it.
bad.
Make it easier for y'all.
Crazy, bro. Big Groove loaded on defense, long as the best college DC in the nation is there offensively. Not as confident. JJ needs another year. Like we need to learn how to scheme our wide receivers open. I agree with this. By the way, speaking of wide receivers, I didn't speak on this yet, but we took a hit because Darius Clemens, 6'3", 200-pound wide receiver, entered the transfer portal today. I kind of expected that one. If you saw my last live, it was him and Amorian Walker that I was worried about. And one shoe did drop, and he is in the transfer portal. It's unfortunate because I think next year would have been a great year for him. CJ's leaving, Roman Wilson is leaving. It really would have been his year, but I also get he's been there 2 years. He hasn't had much production, but we wish him the best. Shout out to Darius Clemens. We wish you all of the best. Also, Thal entered the transfer portal. He was a special teamer. Had that huge muff against Alabama that damn near cost us the Rose Bowl, but he did have enough moxie and wit about him to get on that ball and get out of the end zone, but he also entered the transfer portal. So Michigan isn't, free of transfer portal bodies either. So it happens to the best. Michigan fans will always have to defend this championship. Somebody will always be saying asterisks, and we're okay with that. As long as when we look in that trophy case, that trophy in there, say what you want. Say what you want.
Get the trophy though? Don't they come and get it?
Who gonna let them in?
You gonna hear is, hey, we're here to get the trophy.
They can knock as loud and as long as they want.
Who can't
hear you. Do you have your access card?
Didn't Reggie Bush give them his Heisman?
Reggie Bush mailed his Heisman back. They would have never gotten that Heisman trophy from me. I promise you. They had to pry that Heisman trophy out of my cold fingers. Dom, shout out to Dom for the super chat. Ryan, cheating, go to the bathroom, wash your hands, look straight ahead, and talk to someone who cares.
No, I'm a Notre Dame fan.
Closest closet Buckeye fans. You are kind of a closet Buckeye fan this year. I gotta give it.
No, both of y'all cheat. Ohio State and Michigan.
So Josh, let me talk to Josh for a second. Josh, we started this season off. Ryan was saying things like, "Man, like Michigan's our rival, but I don't hate them. It's not like USC. I hate USC." Blah, blah, yada, yada. Then what happens is they host the other state, and they're supposed to win this game. They probably should have won this game, but they found a way to lose this game. So because they lost this game to the other state, he then has to prop the other state up all season because
that's a good football team.
Exactly, it's a great football team. We lost football team. This defense was the best defense in America. And all of these things that he was saying to prop them up so that they could then carry Notre Dame up with them somehow. Although Notre Dame would go on to lose games to Louisville and Clemson, so it really didn't matter.
Are better than anybody Michigan played besides Penn State and Ohio State.
Louisville was not better.
Who's better?
I said besides Ohio State and Penn State, Louisville and Clemson are better than anyone else on your schedule.
Bro, first of all, Rutgers would have wiped the floor.
Oh, come on.
Rutgers.
Have you seen that Rutgers offense, bro?
No, Rutgers defense
is atrocious.
Legit. Rutgers would have UNLV was an elite program.
Yeah, they got blown out by Boise State, but they're elite.
I believe we said something about Georgia Tech. They did go to a bowl this season.
Yeah, see, Georgia Tech and Bowling Green, who Michigan murdered, beat Georgia Tech. There you have it.
Come on, man.
Beat Georgia Tech at home. Okay.
But I tried saying our schedule was weak. We played 6
We didn't have a weak schedule. I don't know what you're talking about. We beat Lil Bro and them 49 to donut. A lot of people beat them.
You gave up more points.
Nobody
to Ohio
beat
State
them
than we did.
49 to donut. You
And
said
y'all
what?
had the number. You guys gave up more points to Ohio State than we did.
They also scored more points.
But I thought you guys had the number one defense.
What did we do? You saw what we did to Washington? That offense that everybody was talking about. The
You gave up,
wide
what was it,
receivers.
24 points to Ohio State. We gave up 17.
Okay.
Yeah,
I mean,
measuring.
This isn't.
I would say Ohio State was a lot better.
That's the only common opponent that we can.
You gave up 17 points and lost
because Sam Hartman is garbage. That's why.
Man.
See, now he's
I
throwing
really
Sam
hate
Hartman
losing
under
Clemens, but hell, I hated losing Andrell Anthony. That's a fact, man. I didn't like losing either one of those, but I think both of those guys are close friends too. And it really sucks, man. I thought Michigan could have used Clemens this upcoming season for sure. MSU fans are closet OSU fans. Notre Dame fans are closet OSU fans. OSU fans are closet MSU and Notre Dame fans.
No, we're not closet any of them.
What a horrible
actually,
little circle jerk.
No, let's do this real quick.
You're really good, bro. I know, bro.
We don't even hate Michigan State. There's no hatred in that rivalry. Michigan State hates Notre Dame for no reason. Like maybe because we just beat their ass every time. But
everyone hates Notre Dame. If I'm being fair.
Well, yeah, because everyone's a Notre Dame hater. That's why we're America's team.
No, I don't think.
But we still got English. We do have English. Samaj gonna be good. That's a fact. Mm-hmm. I think, but both of those guys are like smaller body guys. They're kind of like the same person. Darius Clemens. The reason I thought it would be great to have Darius Clemens next year was because of his size. He's a bigger guy, and but whatever. Michigan will be fine. Mm-hmm. Husky got put in the doghouse. Facts. Andrell would have been great in A2 this season. That is another fact. Harbaugh has never had an elite wide receiver room. I agree with this statement. That is a fair and honest statement. And if Harbaugh gets an elite wide receiver room, the rest of the country is in shambles. By the way, the rest of the country is in shambles anyway. The SEC is in shambles. We need to hit that transfer portal. We do. By the way, I didn't speak on this either. Our enemies are getting stronger. Mm-hmm. Notre Dame has done a decent job in that portal.
We coming for that natty.
Kentucky has taken all of the players that we wanted. Which, by the way, I'm with Antoine. We got to put Kentucky on the schedule because we need to beat y'all and show the world.
Absolutely. We got to find out who the glue is.
Evidently, Christopher Burgess wasn't a tech for y'all. Neither was Ethan Long, but it's all right because
we didn't need those guys. But the biggest gainer in this time that Michigan has been playing in the CFP has been the other state. They got Quinshon Judkins, they got Will Howard. I think they got the number one inside offensive lineman that was in the transfer portal. They've obviously been recruiting well from the high school ranks too. So Michigan has some work to do now that the national championship high is off and over. They do need to get in that portal, make some things shake. I have all the faith that they will. And even with the additions that the other state made, they still
Will
have
Howard
Ryan
is not the move.
I agree that Will Howard is not the move. But I do like Quinshon Judkins. I like that move.
He's a cancer in the locker room, bro. He's a cancer in the locker room. I don't know if you heard the stuff about him, but
they won a lot of games on the back of that cancer in the locker room.
I know.
So
he got into a fist fight with Jackson Dart in the locker room, bro.
That's excellent.
He's gonna be sitting there like fighting.
Dude wants to win. That's good.
So sick of this cheating narrative. Chit. I agree, by the way. So we cheated all the way to the title in person. Watching film, it's the same thing. Tomatoes, tomatoes. Cry me a river. Facts, Big Groove. Cry me a river, build a bridge, and get over it. Who Michigan destroyed. Listen, by the way, speaking of destroying, and this is why I have a problem with people that saying Michigan, this is the weakest national champion and all this bogusness, right? Michigan beat 11 teams by 20 or more points.
Well, who did you
11. Hold on. I'm going to get there. They beat 11 teams by 20 or more points. Only one other team in this CFP era has done that. By the way, that was also a Big Ten team, but I digress.
I still think 2019 LSU, 2018 Clemson.
Yeah, none of that matters because we can't play those guys. Those guys
we can rank those teams, but we can
professionals
rank
now.
those teams in terms of who we think are better. Like,
sure, and that's for people like you whose team doesn't win national championships. So I'll let you guys need something. So
we
rank
played better teams in the playoff. That's what.
How?
Everybody who played 2018 Clemson got ran through. Everybody who played 2020 Alabama got ran through.
Guess what? Everybody who played 2023 Michigan got ran through.
You guys struggled with Maryland, Ohio State, and we
struggled with Ohio State. Hold on.
Yeah, you guys won by 6.
Saying that we struggled with anyone is kind of crazy, considering we didn't trail in any of those games.
How did you blow out a team when you won by 6?
I didn't say we blew them out. I said they got ran through.
I said ran through. They blew.
We dominated all of these teams. Nobody outgained us. There was nothing to say that they were better than us in any way.
But people diminished what Clemson did when they won the Natty because they're like, "Oh, you guys play the ACC schedule."
I mean,
they played what they had to play.
41 minutes.
Huh?
41 minutes. That is how long that Michigan did not have the lead in any of their football games.
Okay, but I'm still. But if you ask most people who the top 5 college football playoff national champions are,
okay, well, nobody's saying top 5. They're just saying they're
not
the worst.
Here's some more fun facts for you because I'm not done giving out fun facts for this season. Michigan, in their last 6 games, played 5 ranked opponents. Nobody in the college football era has done that.
Didn't LSU play like 8?
No, they didn't.
They won the Natty?
I'm telling you that only it was 3 different Alabama teams played 4 ranked teams in that span.
I swear they said LSU had the most top 25 wins of any national champion.
Well, that may be the truth, right? In their entire season, that may be true. But over the last 6 games of the season, including the CFP, nobody played 5 out of 6 ranked opponents. By the way, we beat the number 2 team in the nation twice this year. We beat, and I'm talking about teams that were ranked number 2 because we were ranked number 1, by the way. And before that, Ohio State was ranked ahead of us for whatever reason because, people scuff their knees for the other state all the time. But we beat the 2 seed twice. We beat the 4 seed. We beat a 10 seed. We beat Iowa in the Big Ten championship.
That's not.
I mean, look, I'm not flexing on Iowa. I'm not flexing on Iowa.
But Iowa was ranked, weren't they?
They were ranked, absolutely, and they were ranked at the end of the season.
Were they?
Yeah.
But my opinion, I think 2020 Notre Dame was our best team that I've seen. You put 2020 Notre Dame in this 2023 playoff, I think they beat all of those teams, and I think we have a natty. That's not me hating on Michigan. That's not me. I just think that 2020 Notre Dame was that good. They just ran into a buzzsaw, which was 2020 Bama, who actually I believe beat Ohio State by 29
Who
points.
Is this
and the
Martian?
Missouri Michigan would have been a good game. That would have been.
No, it wouldn't. Stop it.
It would have been.
Stop it. No, it wouldn't.
Brady Cook would have cooked.
This person is a Martian. No. Mizzou would have beaten. First of all, they need to stop jacking our logo. The block M. They need to stop.
Hey, they beat Ohio State by more.
You cannot be serious, man. I'm gonna mute you. You're not serious, right?
No,
Anyway, man. Hey, look, it is about that time, bro. We gotta get out of here. Week 0 podcast, guys. Go over there, subscribe to the channel.
By the way, just so you people know,
do it for Josh.
Josh does not share the same opinions as me.
Right.
So if you want to come over there and listen to Josh be a rational fan,
Yeah,
and talk
do
about
it.
college
Do it for
football.
Josh.
I have
tell
to
the
do a
people-
show with Ryan, please.
Tell the people where they can find you, Ryan. Let's get out of here.
Oh yeah, so I can get the
This
hate
is
train started in
ridiculous.
another Twitter space. Go to @ForVille_Ryan on Twitter. Give me all of the smoke about how Michigan deserved to win this national title. Like Phil said, go over to Week Zero Productions on YouTube for Josh and Lucas and Connor mainly. Just go and also go over there to yell at me and tell me I'm a dumbass too. That's cool. But yeah,
Josh, tell the people where they can find you.
All right. You can find me at Week Zero Podcast. There on YouTube. It's Week Zero Productions. On Twitter at JMB_Michael94. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm gonna have a show that I'm gonna be starting back up. Called the Kentucky Corner. So you can find me on there, also at the Week Zero Productions YouTube channel.
Absolutely. Find everywhere at Me is Madman. Till next time, stay angry.